Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Rorowa deck profile for November 2022. I figured with the new promos we got for the shop tournament for Rorowa, it was definitely time for an update. We got a new grade 2 that definitely does help with calling out tokens onto the field, which is the main purpose of the Rorowa deck, to work with the glitter unit Lena and Rorowa to be able to call out your different tokens, whether they be the plant tokens with Rorowa or your dragon token with Lena. It's a really awesome play style of a deck that mixes Dragon Empire and Stoicheia together. And with the new order and the new grade 2, it adds a lot to the deck, which I probably won't be updating again until set 8 when we get even more support for it. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, still sticking to the standard, our grade 0 is Bioroid Youth Rorowa. Our grade 1 is Awakened Iron Slumber Rorowa. Just when placed on Bioroid Youth Rorowa, you can call up to 1 plant token to your back row center rearguard. So that gives you the plant token to set up, which then you'll use with the grade 2 when it's placed on Vanguard. Retire 1 of your rearguards and call up to 2 plant tokens. So just being able to retire the plant token you called earlier to get 2 more onto the field. With our main grade 3 being for one's precious thing, Rorowa. This is your main go-to grade 3 that works with glitter and Lena. Technically they all do, since they all have the glitter specification on the card. But for the grade 3, we're additionally running 3 more copies for the Persona ride in the deck on the Vanguard once per turn. You can Soul Blast 1 and call up to 3 plant tokens to rearguard. So that just gives you your setup for the turn, and also the cards that you will retire with your Monoke token. And also on the Vanguard, when this unit is attacked, you can retire 1 or more of your tokens, and this unit gets plus 5,000 till the end of that battle for each unit retired. So all in total, you have 25k shield in total to potentially work with, including all your tokens that you can just retire on the field and use with Rorowa to block other attacks. Whether they just be 1 measly attack, retiring 1 token can give you a plus 5k shield. The main offense for the deck comes in the form of your grade 2, which is Drag Gritter Girl Flame Blossoms Lena. If you do not have a Momoke token, you can counter blast 1 and call it to the rearguard circle. And when this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, choose 1 of your tokens in the same column as this unit, and this unit gets the power of that token till end of battle. So it's meant to just basically be boosted by the Momoke token, which Momoke on rearguard allows you to retire 1 or more of your other rearguards, and it gets plus 5,000 till end of turn for each unit retired. And then also on rear, if you have a unit with Lena in the same column as this one, it can attack from the back row. So your Momoke will be the 4th attack for each turn, giving all the trigger effects is what I usually do with this card. And then you can just have Lena gain the additional. It's a glitter unit for grade 2, meaning you can even be on your grade 2 Rorowa and be able to call out this unit for early game pressure. For the new promo, I'm running 4 copies of Delicate Beauty Maiden Candelaria. On rear at the end of your turn, retire this unit and call up to 2 plant tokens to rear. So the big defense does come down to you having Rorowa have some tokens at the end of your turn, but most of the time with the deck, you would retire them, so Momoke could be powered up for your offense. So your defense comes into play, having Candelaria to retire at the end of the turn to give you 2 tokens on the field, which is much better than just a 5k interceptor. You'll have 2 tokens, which you can even set up in the back row to protect them from your opponent's attacks to use as shield against your opponents. And I additionally also run for the grade 2s 3 copies of Prod Pollen Raphilis when it's placed on rear, counter plus 1 and call it to 2 plant tokens. So the same premise with Candelaria, just setting up the tokens beforehand to have after you retire with your Momoke to then use with your Vanguard. And lastly, the 2 copies of Carophilus. So I have more of a soul charge option if my soul has no soul cards. You can then use it because you definitely will be using it a lot for Rorowa Soul Blast to call you 3 tokens each and every turn. And then for the grade 1 units, I'm running 3 copies of Adhesive Thread Monster Active Sticky on the rearguard, counterblast 1, and retire 2 of your other rearguards, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5,000 to end of turn. So this could be a 13k attacker on its own, 23,000 if you Persona ride, and being able to retire some of your other tokens for draw options. It's a once per turn, so as long as you have Active Sticky on the rearguard, the following turn you can just retire more and more rearguards with this card to get a draw and plus 5,000 power. And for the other grade 1s, I run 4 copies of Planner Prevent Dragon. You could run the Elementaria Sanctitude as the Blitz order for 1 spot in this deck if you have it. Just running the 4 Planner Prevent Dragon for this build, I find it to be the most aesthetically pleasing Sentinel for this deck, but they all do the same thing, even with the new ones we got from DBT06. And also, I'm not running as big of a grade 1 count because I wanted grade 2s for more of a front row option. The grade 1s will fall in line with the tokens that we run. They'll mostly always be in the back row as a booster, especially Momoke for Radiolina's card ability. Moving on now to the orders, I am running 3 copies of Resolute Pair of Eyes. I would run 4 of this card. Sadly, I was only able to get 3 of them. If you wanted to run a 4th copy, you can take out one of the other orders that I'm running with this card. If you have a Vanguard with Rorowa and its card name, play it with a counterblast 1 and retire a rear guard. When this unit is when this card is put into the order zone, search your deck for up to 1 card with Radiolina, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is the search power. I would say the biggest weakness of the deck is just not opening up Radiolina. So having an order that adds to our hand makes it all the stronger of a card in the deck. And from the order zone during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Rorowa and its card name, all your back row tokens get 5k power. So this is what I mean as well, just having the tokens set up in the back row. You have then 10k boosters to rely on with all your tokens. And the more orders you have of this set up, the more powerful each one becomes because you can stack the Resolute Pair of Eyes, having multiples in your order zone for you to use. So with the 4th copy, if you were to run a 4th one, like I said, I would take out one of the next orders, which I'm also just running 2 copies of Spiritual Body Condensation for the option of calling Radiolina back from the drop zone, and 2 copies of Tearful Malice. If anything, I would drop the Tearful Malice. It does give you a soul power and a counter charge, which is very nice. It's a good option to have, but you can either take out 1 copy of the Spiritual Body Condensation or the Tearful Malice to put in a 4th copy of your Resolute Pair of Eyes. Moving on now to the trigger lineup, going with the criticals because the front row is really, the front triggers don't do much for this deck because you rely on Momoke's power in the back row. So 4 copies of Aspiring Maiden Elena and just 3 of these Sylvan Horned Beast Jackalope. It could be any critical trigger that you have in the set. I just find these to be more of the cuter ones to go with the theme of Rorowa. For the next trigger, like I said, not working on the front triggers, so I run 4 copies of Lena, the draw with the 5k shield. For hand consistency, that's the biggest thing. You invest a lot with your field in this deck, so having this for more draw power for your hand guard and just potential drawing into Radiolina is very important. For the heals, I'm running 2 copies of Petronella and 1 copy of Asher and 1 of the Alchemic Hedgehog for the additional guards that these cards can provide, and then still just having the generic heals to rely on for their normal shield when just blocking other attacks. And then also lastly, just the Blessed Favor for the over trigger of choice. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, really awesome that we got this new support, and I can't wait till set 8 as well because we'll be getting even more for the glitter decks. I'll definitely be updating the other ones as well from the new promo support they received, so Eva and Chaos, and look forward to those. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.